So I really wanted to draw something cute and seasonal this autumn, and I thought drawing a pumpkin would be the perfect thing. So in this time lapse, I'm going to talk you through exactly how I created this realistic pumpkin in coloured pencil. I also have the real-time tutorial with full voiceover taking you step by step exactly how I drew this pumpkin, both on my Patreon and on my website if you are interested. Both will be linked below. So in this class, I'm working a little bit differently to how I usually work. I normally use 3 different types of coloured pencil and a thick watercolour paper. However, for this class and for this time lapse, I'm only using the Faber-Castell Polychromos, and I'm using the Strathmore Bristol Vellum 300 series, which is a much thinner paper than what I'm used to, but you can still get beautiful results. So I'm working in thin layers to build up my initial colours. So in coloured pencil, and especially on a paper like this, we are always going to be looking to use very light layers and work from light to dark. So I'm paying attention to the lightest colours I can see in the reference photo, which tends to be quite yellowy undertones. So I'm starting off with my very lightest yellows and then building up towards my oranges. And this is still very early stages. I'm really beginning to kind of come in and establish some of the darker areas, but again, I'm not pressing very hard at all. By using light layers and building up my layers really smoothly and slowly, it allows me to really be able to blend my pencils with each other to create a very smooth transition between my colours. And also remember that when we're drawing something like a pumpkin, it's obviously spherical, so you pay attention to where the light source is, where the light is hitting the pumpkin. That is going to be our lightest and brightest area, and then on the opposite side we are going to have a lot of darker shadows. So this is where a little bit of colour theory comes in, because to create those deep, rich, shadowy tones, you almost need to be looking at the opposite end of the colour wheel to orange, which tends to be sort of blues and purples. So I'm using a lot of reds to be building up the shadowy areas or the darker side of the pumpkin. But then to create the darks, I really like to use a bit of dark indigo, which is obviously a very dark blue, over the top of the reds, which creates a sort of purpley shade and purpley hue to the shadow, and that makes it look so much darker and gives it so much more depth. I know understanding colour theory can be a little bit challenging, and it's taken me years and years to build up the confidence to be able to go in with darker colours and sort of more random colours with my artwork. But let me tell you, the results are so worth it, and I'm super happy with how this pumpkin turned out. I asked actually on my Instagram stories a while back if you were new to coloured pencil, or what sort of things did you struggle with when you first started your coloured pencil journey, and a lot of people said blending, layering and colour theory. So I thought, to create something like this, we're going to it factors in every single one of those elements, and by just using one brand of pencil and a slightly thinner paper, it's a lot easier for me to build up these layers and create a lot of smooth tones and smooth textures, and it makes it a really fun class for me to teach. And I absolutely adore how this turned out. I think it's so cute. So if you would like to learn how to draw this really sweet little pumpkin, then as I said, all the links are down below.